Best and most popular CMS platforms in 2023. In this video, we'll be comparing the top content management systems out there or CMS platforms for you to choose for your website. A content management system is simply an easy way for you to start a website without having to learn any code whatsoever. Let's dive in. Number 1 is WordPress.org, which will be our number 1 pick for the best CMS platform, but it's not just us. 41% of all websites on the internet use WordPress to power them. It's very important to not confuse WordPress.org with WordPress.com when we're talking about CMS platforms, because WordPress.org is the free open-source CMS that was originally designed for blogging, but now it can be used to build websites, online stores, and everything else, whereas WordPress.com is just a blog hosting platform, so it's very important to not confuse the two. WordPress has the flexibility and freedom that it offers you to just build any type of website. If you want to start an online store, rate auction site, membership site, blog, small business website, etc., you can do all of it with very little technical knowledge or coding knowledge. WordPress comes with thousands and thousands of free WordPress themes, which are basically pre-made templates that you can build your websites with. There are also plugins which are like apps for your website, and there are over 58,000 free plugins, more than any other content management software in the market. Nobody has this kind of integration ecosystem that WordPress has, and you can use these to create contact forms, photo galleries, shopping carts, and everything in between, and most of the tools are free. Another big thing about WordPress is that it's super SEO friendly, which means your website built with WordPress will usually rank higher than any other CMS platforms, as long as you're using the best SEO plugins like All-in-One SEO or Yoast or Rank Math SEO. WordPress also has a really supportive community, which means you can get good user support from other users that are using WordPress as well. WordPress gives you complete freedom to own your website on your content, and for us, that's a huge thing. Out of all website builders, WordPress is very affordable because you just need a hosting account. You can go with Bluehost, Namekeep or SiteGround, etc. Number 2 is Joomla, and it is another free open source CMS platform out there. It comes with a lot of templates and extensions. It is free to use, but like with WordPress, you will have to create your own hosting provider as well as a domain name. It was first released back in 2005, and so like WordPress has been around for quite a while. It's packed with a ton of features, and you can also do a one-click installation. It's not really an ideal CMS platform for beginners, it's more ideal for developers. Most web designers today have dumped Joomla for WordPress because of the fact that it's just not as easy to use, and some of the advantages are that it gives you a lot of flexibility. You have plenty of options to choose from. It's a good choice for building something that's complicated, and it is especially helpful for developers if they want to create their own item. Like WordPress, Joomla is open source. You'll have a community of people to help you, as you probably will need that help as you're going through it. Some of the cons are that even the fans will admit it's complicated and there aren't as many options or additional features as like with WordPress, where there are thousands of plugins that let you do whatever you want to do with your website, and some of the extensions aren't as robust out there, and a lot of times they will conflict with their modules as you get into them. Number 3 is Drupal, which is another open-source CMS platform, which means it gives you a lot of freedom. As you have noticed that our top 3 picks are all open-source because we really believe in website owners or business owners having full ownership and freedom of their website and the ability to move and do whatever they need. Drupal powers about 1% of all websites on the internet, but Drupal is loved by developers. Most of the time, to build a custom website with Drupal, you're going to have to hire a developer, even though they will be way more expensive than WordPress, but in certain spaces when you're trying to build complicated sites with a lot of data, Drupal can be a good option. Again, it's a personal preference. With Drupal, you have to have your own hosting and everything, but with hosting like SiteGround you can get pre-built installations. With Drupal, it's very easy to add content, as there are tons of custom content types available, and they're very flexible, but you have to know what you're doing because it's not as beginner friendly, and they do have different modules available that you can add to your website. They work very similar to WordPress plugins. Support is available via a community similar to Joomla and WordPress. User management is easy as well. You can create new roles, specify permissions and whatnot, but the downside is that these websites are super heavily customized and created by developers, and generally Drupal sites are a lot harder and a lot more expensive to create and maintain. With that, it can be very tricky to figure out how to change the appearance of your site or add extra items, so you're going to have to hire an expert developer. But when you think about the content management aspect of it, it is really robust. Number 4 is Wix. It is a popular CMS platform you might have seen. It is beginner friendly, and it is something that a lot of new users end up choosing because Wix has a free plan and a limited free plan, and it comes with drag and drop interface, which makes it really easy for you to create pages that look just the way you want it. There are tons of pre-arranged templates. Wix has a growing app marketplace as well, so you can install apps on your site. Similar to WordPress plugins, there are several downsides to it. One is that the free plan is very limited. You will have a Wix branded domain and they will show ads on your site, because that's the way Wix makes money, unless you pay them a lot of money to upgrade you to the pro plan. More is that you cannot run an e-commerce store on Wix unless you upgrade to their e-commerce plans, which are far more expensive than their normal plan. This is one of the reasons why it's way better for you to use WooCommerce and WordPress. Once you choose a template on Wix, you can't change to a different one. This means you get stuck with that layout in the future unless you rebuild the whole website, whereas in WordPress you can more or less change a theme and still retain all the content and everything in it. The last big downside that we don't like about Wix is it doesn't make it super easy for you to download your data and export it. A lot of times we get users asking us how to switch from Wix to WordPress, and to do this you're going to have to do a lot of manual copy and pasting, but that's one of the other downsides of Wix. But despite all of the cons of it, Wix is still very popular because they do a great job in advertising, which is why about 1.5% of all websites on the internet use Wix. Number 5 is Shopify. It is a popular all-in-one hosted CMS platform for e-commerce websites. So if you're looking to build an online store and you just want to get started without buying hosting or installing any software, managing things like updates and backups, then Shopify is where you go. A lot of online store owners today set up their stores with Shopify. It has a drag and drop interface. It even supports in-store sales, which is great if you have a physical store as well as an online presence. There are a lot of things to love about Shopify. You can accept credit cards and debit cards as default solutions. If you want to use any third-party payment providers, Shopify will charge you extra fees, which adds up because it's a fee on every transaction. But as long as you're okay with using Shopify Pay, which is powered by Stripe, you won't pay any additional fees. You would only pay the normal fees. There are tons of extensions and themes available for Shopify users, and you don't need to upgrade if you make over a certain amount in sales. They do have 24/7 support because there's a huge community around it. What we personally don't like about Shopify is that your costs can end up quite high, especially if you want to use add-ons or third-party apps. In general, a WordPress plugin for WooCommerce may cost you $40, whereas it might cost you double that on Shopify, so Shopify is built on that monthly recurring revenue aspect. Shopify is a great CMS platform for anybody looking to start an online store. Number 6 is Ghost, which is a CMS platform specifically designed for bloggers. You'll often hear it described as a headless CMS, which sounds a little odd, but it just means that the CMS platform doesn't force you to deliver content in a specific way. You can use data to produce content in any way you want in a mobile app and a website, however you want, and however you need it to be. If you're not a developer and you just want to use Ghost for blogging, you don't really need to worry about that part, as it's a straightforward built-in blogging tool. Some of the pros that people like about it are that you can use the markdown way of writing when you're writing in the Ghost editor. It's just a way to format text without using a mouse. You can make things bold, italic, and so on with shortcuts. Their content editor uses cards that work a bit like the WordPress blocks in the block editor. Ghost was started by one of the old long-time WordPress contributors, John Nolan, so it's pretty cool. Ghost has good support for SEO. You know, they even have a setup that allows you to charge for content to run a premium content site, but what they don't have is they don't offer the same amount of power and flexibility as WordPress, and that is a decision that they have chosen because they want to focus entirely on making the best blogging software out there. But you know, if you want to make an e-commerce site, a full business website, etc., Ghost is not okay. Now that we've covered all these 6 CMS platforms, it shouldn't be any surprise that we believe that WordPress is the best content management system for you to start with your website, and if you choose to use WordPress.org, then you are among the majority. Make sure you click on the like button and follow us for more videos like this.